Okay, let's try this again. God damn it. The limitations of my own biology. Figures it would happen on the day when it's like, oh, well, I got nothing to do except my hobby. That's what I get for figuring, oh, these protein shakes are fine. They just taste a little funny this time. I think I gotta stop buying them. Or only drink half of it. I don't know at this point. We do have magnesium pills for any cramping that I'll experience after the... That's really the main... I mean, those protein shakes have a lot of good stuff in them, but that's the main thing that I drink them for, is the magnesium that's in them, because that helps with any cramping that I could get after I work out. We have magnesium pills, so I could just take one of those. Now, it's more magnesium than what's in the shake, but I think that's what magnesium's for, right? Or am I thinking of something else? Well, there's a few websites, including government-based websites, that say that it could be useful for cramping. I mean, I could just, eat a couple of bananas, too. Those have magnesium in them. And potassium, which is kind of hard for people to get if they don't eat sweet potatoes, or what's the other one that has potassium in it, like a lot of it. It's some kind of vegetable. I don't remember. Oh well. All right. Sorry, I think I bumped the mic stand just then. Reaching for my notes, which are on my phone screen, slightly to the right of the shelf that the microphone's on. Ugh. Excuse me. If ever there was a time where I would become a proponent of augmenting my body with cybernetics, after yesterday, I feel like I'd be a pretty big proponent of it. Yesterday was really bad. One of the worst that I've ever had. I still have some slight pains from it today, so that should give you an idea. Probably too much information, but then again, it's not going to be the worst thing that you hear today. It's not going to be the worst thing that you see today. least in my opinion. How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers, the stream edition. For real this time, because yesterday, if you were here yesterday, I imagine it probably annoyed a few people. I made it approximately 10 minutes before having to stop the stream because I had to go die in the bathroom for an hour. So today we're going to actually play the video game and do the last Magic DPS role quest. Call's here. Is Call ready for the call? To go in the call. Yes. Okay. I'll bring you in the call before I really talk to Sarig for real this time. There we go. Oh, hi.
I was on time yesterday, too.
I know you were. I saw that. You're on time today, too. You have to be on time tomorrow, too, because tomorrow's the 5.0 finale. So.
Shit.
Yeah.
You missed the part where I fucking popped in. I was like, damn, where'd Jimmy go?
That quickly? That's not normal. You're right. It's not normal. Again, if I could augment my digestive system with cybernetics, I would.
Without hesitation.
Absolutely not. Just done. Okay, well that's good. Now Tainer can help us fight Phronesis and put Albert to rest.
Skitty bottom bada.
Yeah, that guy. Are you at level 80 on Black Mage yet?
I'm working on that as we speak.
Oh, okay. Because
I'm not gonna be able to join you on screen for these quests today, but I will do them off screen. And while you are doing those, I will run a dungeon.
Oh, okay. That's good.
So I can get to level 80 on Black Mage. So then I only have 2 classes left to get to 80. Oh.
Well, you'll have an excuse to get them to 80 because we got to get Poetics after tomorrow in order to get our gear, so.
Shit.
Hey, Lifeblood, how's it going? Welcome back. You have a job for me. Okay, and what's the job? Do not be sick again. I will attempt to do that for you. You wasted a Coke and a popcorn yesterday? Oh, Jesus. Well, that's my bad. I didn't know.
I remember so many one-liners.
I didn't know I didn't know my biology was going to react so violently to me drinking a protein shake that mostly just has vitamins and minerals in it, so.
Your body was like, no healthy. No.
You're not allowed. I'm not sure you are completely fine there, Tainer. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be fine if I had to put down my friend whose body was being corrupted by light ether after he died. See, I didn't really feel like I was able to concentrate all that well yesterday, because even if I had made it out of the bathroom in a timely manner, it's like I have to be on for today's stream because of what's going to be happening in the story, so that I can actually
So you can be mad about it.
Yes. So if I was here yesterday, I would have been very, like, lethargic about everything, and it would not have been a very entertaining episode. So.
Jimmy dying.mov.
Yep. Oh, you only so many one-liners that you can remember. You have a very limited memory. Yeah, no, I get that. Believe me, I understand. Legit hate how you can't use limited light powers during this time period. Same, though. I'd love to control lesser Sin Eaters right now and just use them to kill other Sin Eaters. Like, use a Jedi mind trick on the Cardinal Virtues or something to get them to stop. Well, like I said yesterday before I was rudely interrupted, we're here for you to support you. He is your friend, so just use that fear that you have and use it to put him out of his misery so that he can rest easy. Because that's the most important thing you can do for him. It's a mercy killing, Tainer. Just give me the power to summon lower Sin Eaters. That's all I ask, believe me. Not saying anything I haven't already wished for, but they're moving on at this point. There's no Sin Eaters after. So there's an implication that Sin Eaters are still around after the base game ends for Shadowbringers. Like, the patch content doesn't say, oh yeah, they're all gone, like, definitively. But after this X-Pack, they basically forgot about them forever, so.
Which is a weird move for Final Fantasy to do, because Final Fantasy has this weird thing where they almost never forget about concepts unless they're retconning them.
Or palette swapping them.
And even then, I would argue that most of the retcons they did, and have done so far, are for the benefit of the story.
I can't comment on that. Because I'm not going to be playing that one. I don't know about new adventures here, Tainer. After this whole thing is over with, I think my adventuring days are coming to an end. I'm too much of a pacifist at this point. Yeah, we'll go tell Sarig that you're ready to go, and then we'll get this over with, so we can move on with the actual story. There are side quests that we'll be able to do in the Tempest in order to get ether currents, but they should be lightning quick, basically. So, well, okay, not lightning quick, but one of them has to solve a very pressing issue that we specifically cause by going there, so it's actually very important lore-wise that we fix things, and then there's 3 more that will all take about 5 minutes and totally destroy the continuity of the main story, but we'll get there. Nice golden Namazu, dude. Okay, so summon the Hollow, and then Phronesis will be like, "Who summons the Void?" And I'll be like, "I'm about to send you back it."
About to send you back to God!
I think in order to do this one, you have to have gotten to Twine, though. Like, you have to have done the story that takes you up there, so if you haven't done that yet, and you got to level 80 on a magic DPS, I think you're waiting, because I don't think you can get over to this side of Fields of Amber without moving on with the story. I think all the gates are locked, just like they always are. Which, again, it seems like kind of a waste to me. Like, let me go out into the open world and just explore stuff, you know? Like, what's the point of an MMO if I'm not allowed to do something in, you know, in an order that I want to do it? Like, even if I get my ass kicked, let me get my ass kicked. It's fine. You can take the rails off Final Fantasy XIV. It's okay. I know how to bowl.
We ball.
I won a chicken in a bowling match one time. I know how to bowl. He was my manager for my real estate empire. And if you don't know that story, well, it's kind of a long story. Yeah, probably not. We can close that up before something else pops out and decides to fight with him.
Kill all of us.
Or maybe we shouldn't have closed it up, because that was my one opportunity to jump in there for 20 minutes and then, you know, balance my ether. Oh, good. He gave me more. Perfect.
Bigger black hole.
Wait, Tainer, no! I need that! Okay, looks like I'm not going to get the black hole, so I guess I just have to hold it in. Which did not work out for me yesterday, so let's see if it works out for me today. How did the dead heroes become seniors, and more importantly, not change into a more standard form? So basically, at this point, their bodies, so their souls are dead. Their bodies are just being inhabited by a bunch of malicious light ether. But the light ether hasn't turned into something else either. Like, their bodies were powerful enough as it is to basically let them stay as they are. I think. That's the way that I'm headcanoning it anyway. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's okay. We have Bahamut. I don't need headcanon. Hollow. Okay, run. Tainer, run. Oh, okay, you do that while I keep him busy.
You just summoned 4 of them bitches
I've
in
definitely
sequence.
got the most DPS out of all of us. Nothing against you, Sarig, but auto attacks just ain't gonna cut it. Okay. In my ruby right window, my searing light. Oh, thanks for the refresh, buddy. I haven't seen that since Stormblood. How many bards did this quest, having played Bard in Stormblood, and went, my refresh? Because I would have. Nice work, Tainer. Okay, guess I'm running again. Guess I gotta take a wider berth than that, or else I'm gonna get Sarig hit as well. Well, I can fix that. Hang on. Phoenix! Let's do this. Let's give him a rekindle. I don't know if it actually ticks for anything. Stay here, Sarig. I probably should have given myself the rekindle, but you know. Whoops. Oh, okay, spread out. Sarah, don't come over here. Thank you.
Sarah, don't walk in this general direction. There's a black hole there. You'll die.
Pretty much. Okay. Step my foot in it. That was a very long Sanctified Fire 3. Like, sometimes the AoEs in this game mess with me because I expect them to resolve because I'm not looking at the cast bar up there, and then they just don't resolve because they're trying to make it easy for you. And it's like, no, that's not making it easy for me. You're literally making this harder. Where'd he go? Oh, there he go. I couldn't hit him. Couldn't see him. He bamboozled me. He will not bamboozle Bahamut. Sarah, you should get away from the void thing. Seems like a good idea. Let's Sanctified Thunder 3. Oh. Okay. I mean, I guess if I gotta stand over here. Hang on, Tainer. I don't know where I'm not allowed to stand with the hollows, honestly. Okay. He keeps giving me the AoEs directly in the middle of my windows where I actually have to stand still, which sounds about right. I think I'm going to give myself the Phoenix next time, though, just to keep myself alive and easier. Whoa! Okay. This way. Oh, good, the heavy's gone. Phoenix, help me out a little bit, please. Take that rekindle. See, now you trip me up because you got me in my Ruby Right window enough to where I'm still in my Instacast window when you do that. Okay. Gotta get in. Not too far in. I used up my, didn't use up my Instacast. That's fine. Prayer 3 is just this. Stay away from my friends in case he decides to do Blizzard 3, which is the cone thing. Well, then I guess we just gotta finish him, don't we, Tainer?
Ada Ken.
Here come the hollows again. I'll just give myself the Searing Light and summon back Bahamut! Finish this. He's really tanky. Like, way tankier than he should be. As a black mage. How do I get this tanky as a black mage?
Very carefully, comrade.
I'd swallow that one up, thank you. I'm standing too close. Oh, it didn't heavy me that time. Alright. I'll take it. We were gonna have an escape route? I don't know what you're talking about, buddy. I'm not escaping anytime soon. I have a Garuda to his face. Hey Marie, how you doing? Welcome back. I am doing and feeling better. I still feel a little bit gross from yesterday. That's how bad it was yesterday, but I got it. It all works out. I think it's mostly because of the trapped gas that was in my, like, stomach and esophagus that happened from yesterday as well. Because that's another side effect from all of this, and I have to drink something carbonated to get it out. Oh good, your friend is back to being not malicious light ether.
Lloyd.
So any ether in this universe, I'm reading what Lifeblood said there about overthinking malicious light ether. Any light ether in this universe, any ether at all in this universe can be malicious if used to attack somebody. So, yeah. So the attacks where you need to split up damage the initial target. So when there's a split up there, basically all you have to do is not overlap things. If you Venn diagram the circles, then it will hurt twice, basically. So you could very well overlap the targets on Serig and get him killed and fail the instance, which would not be fun.
Not fun at all.
You've done 4 interviews in 2 weeks. You hope something finally pans out? Man, that's a lot of interviews for a couple of weeks. Well, I hope something pans out for you as well. That's a lot of work. Excuse me. I don't know that it was in vain there, Neilbert. He's in this world again, although it's a lot later than it was when he first left. Probably a few, but not as many as you and Arbert and them shared, so... Okay, so this is more like a pre-recorded message. He can't see that Tainer's there. Sorry, I skipped anything that said accidentally. I don't know if he actually said anything. I missed a dialogue box. This was his final message for you, Tainer. It's not, he can't, I don't think he can answer. And I think that's why. All he wanted to do was apologize. And as we all know, apologizing for something is far easier to do when you're not directly confronting the person. Well, I'm sure he will, because now his ether can finally dissipate into the, you know, the everything else. Like that. So how many of the crystals do we have now? Because we don't have Ardbert's. I don't even remember which one Ardbert's was, honestly. And then there was a 6th one, but I don't know if they ever showed us where the 6th one was. We got him, kid. Good work. Yeah, that's all. Oh, good. Here comes this guy to interrupt the conversation. No, you're not allowed to interrupt this conversation. I'm going to talk to Tainer, even if you don't. Excuse me while I fucking murder this man. You want to be killed by searing light? Be my fucking guest.
All I wanted to do was finish the damn quest. You know what I got in return?
I had to murder the wildlife, because the wildlife is angry at all times. Thanks, Bahamut.
Thanks, Bahamut. You already destroyed the environment once. Why not do it again?
Glad to hear it, Tainer, because I don't think he'd want you to have regrets right now. Yeah, or any of the local wildlife respawns, which that debitage will do in about 75 seconds. So, back to Mordsuk we go. The conversation was only 2 more lines and we would have been back. And then he's like, oh, I'm going to turn around and rudely interrupt you. Okay.
Mord suck.
Maybe not.
Say, Cole, did we talk about Atelka? Oh, you mean the best fight in Monster Hunter history?
We need to counter.
How many
ecological disasters do we create or commit in this X-Pack? Well, we're going to create one more in a few minutes.
Another one.
Yes. Starting to not feel like the hero here, Square Enix. Just a thought. And it's actually like it's actually problematic for reasons that I'll talk about when we commit the ecological disaster. So.
Don't we all?
Well, I'm glad that you fixed the problem there, Tainer. In the end, we got everything all taken care of. Yeah, to be fair, seeing someone pop out of the abyss is usually a bad thing. Usually bad things happen, but, well, it worked out in the end. This one spun positive.
Well, they
Did
don't
you?
really commit any ecological disasters with one particular quest line, but unfortunately we're conveniently not doing that quest line this time around.
Yeah, there's reasons for that one. I think I know which one you're talking about. We'll talk about it when we get there. It's okay. Just fuck up the first we're leaving, so it's okay. So, did you guys talk about Italca? I don't know if I said that correctly.
Like I said, the best fight in Monster Hunter history. No cap.
There you go. So I don't know if we did or we didn't, but that's Cole's opinion on it. What do you need my permission for? Oh, yeah, no, that's fine. Kid's gonna need some money to get him started in this world anyway, so, but of course. I don't need money.
I do.
You do? Didn't I give you like 4 million gil altogether?
I need more.
For what?
To be like those fucking day one traders and have like 99 million gil and nothing to spend it on.
I was gonna say, what are you gonna spend it on though?
Too many. Far too many things.
The Night Pegasus. It's all good, Tainer. This is what comrades do.
I think a friend of mine destroyed another friend of mine last night, and I sort of helped. Care to explain to Mono why it's supposedly the best fight in Monster Hunter history? The monster turns into a giant robot.
Oh.
That is all.
Oh. Uh-huh. Looks like you've got a job, Tainer. I hope you know how to cross-class cure onto your black mage bar. Because you two are the...
red mage, it's fine.
I was gonna say, because you two are some of the squishiest classes in the game at the moment. Between you. You guys should go do that. I will come back either after I take care of this whole problem with my own light ether or as the mark that you're hunting. It depends on how this next part goes. Alright. Thanks, Carbuncle. You can go rest now. You'll be back in a little bit anyway when we go to Tempest. So let's go back to the Crystarium, shall we? Don't worry, Mizuko, we will take you to go for a swim in a little bit because we're going back to the ocean. Be a different ocean from the one you're used to, though. So you destroyed another one of your friends from helping, and it was 300k is cheap to you? I have 5 mil, dude. I have about 15 mil to my name. Yeah, sorry, we're rich, dude.
Imagine being rich, lol.
Whoops.
Lamau. Lol.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't have anything left to spend gil on in this game. Like
That's
I said,
because all of your outfits are fucking generic and normal and very Dark Soulsian in the way that they come together and are more, like, functional than cool, and all of us want shiny weapons because we all have ADHD.
and shiny weapons are expensive, and also they don't really activate my brain in the same way that everybody else's do. They just look off to me. Like, why would I want to draw attention to myself?
You considered it's because you're not an anime person.
Probably.
And as we all know, glowing weapons in anime are always stronger than normal weapons. Unless it's a comedy show, in which case a generic sword bought by a blacksmith in the first town that is conveniently the MacGuffin item of the comedy show that came into their hands through some wacky woohoo means is the most powerful sword in the show.
Probably.
I say this because of example. Because
So now-
I've seen an example of that, and I was wheezing.
So now Sari gets to be Tainer's dad.
Good.
Yes, good.
There's a theme of fatherhood in this expansion.
There sure is. Except with Lena.
Pain.
I know. It's painful.
Her dad ran away.
Her dad was kidnapped, and her character development was hidden from her forever. Lifeblood wants to know if the example of the sword in the first town being the MacGuffin is from Familiar of Zeri.
I don't believe so. Can't remember.
Which one were you referring to? Do you remember?
I was like 17 when I watched the show, so I don't fucking
Okay,
remember.
fair enough. The friend who asked if 300k
Unrelated.
was cheap had the absolute worst time in Palace of the Dead. In one sitting from floors 1 to 20, he tripped around 23 traps, mostly pacification and toting. Few landmines sprinkled in, he tripped 2 different toting traps in less than a minute. That man doesn't know
That
how to walk
reminds
around
me.
the outside of the room. Reminds you of what?
That reminds me of that one meme I made that was just a zoom in of me as a frog with 1,000 look away petrification
Yep.
eyeballs in the background.
And I did that in Helicarnassus fight when I got turned into a toad. I just zoomed the camera real close to me and just stared into the empty void. Oh, he wanted to learn how to tank, so he was running down the middle in Palace of the Dead. Oh boy.
Oh, you fool.
Did one of the main characters have pink hair and was shit at magic in the example you were talking about? Apparently Marie knows it. Watched it in English and Japanese. There you go. It hurt. Or a generic Japanese dude with a blue jacket.
As stated, I unfortunately do not remember, as my memory is trash.
Marie remembers. Okay, Urianger, what's your proposal? Lay it on me, and don't be like Y'shtola did in Mount Gulgar. I might throw you off into the empty. Right. I don't understand the problem for me and Alice specifically, because we can do exactly what Cole was trying to do just now, which is breathe water as air. Incidentally, stop doing that. Yeah, that. Okay, and what would you have the Fae do? Like, what could they do to allow... I mean, I guess they could maybe contact the Fae of the Source, and then they could basically contact the Kojin in their dreams and give Alphino, Thancred, Urianger, Y'shtola, and Reen the Blessing of Water. Do they communicate the Fae of the First with the Fae of the Source? Are there Fae of the Source? I guess we'll find out in a moment once we go to Sullen. Alright then. Let's see what harebrained scheme Urianger is concocting here, and again, if it's as bad as Y'shtola's, he's getting thrown. Fanfiction of that anime was a trip and a half. It was so bad. Topic of anime, just finished season 1 of Mermaid Melody, all fucking 52 episodes. You want to die? That's a lot of episodes.
Just a truckload. Mm-hmm. Just a vicious amount.
Never heard of that one. Yeah, I haven't heard of any of these. When was the last time I watched anything anime related? It's probably been at least 12 years since I watched anything anime related. I think the last anime I watched was Gurren Lagann.
Not a bad one to stop at.
That's what a lot of
because
people
it's the
told
fucking best anime that I consider to be ever exist.
That's what a lot of people told me. They said, well, you stopped in a good place. I said, yeah, I guess so. One Punch Man. Yeah, no. I've heard of that one. I haven't seen it. So.
One Punch Man is a masterclass in comedy.
Oh, hey, Cole, guess what? This quest that we're doing next, this main quest, it gives you 2 normal quality oysters on the half shell, so you don't have to cook food again.
Fuck yeah!
There's a season 2. You're not looking forward to another 36 episodes. Oh my god. That's as long as our playthrough of A Realm Reborn and Heaven's Ward put together. I can see the island. I went fishing over there at one point. That's the key to our safe descent? Okay. I mean, it did look kind of weird the last time I was there, so... Sure, you do that, Urianger. I think if I remember right, they actually have a joke about that at some point, where they basically have Urianger try to walk on water, and it lasts for like 5 steps, and then he almost falls in. I don't remember where that joke happens, though. There you go, Mizuko. Not a bad swim. It's fresh water, and you're used to salt water, but we'll get you into salt water today. Yeah, so this is the island I went spearfishing at the other day when I was getting Cole the breams. And, well, it was a little suspect when I went here the last time, but now the game wants us to define the suspect about it. So let's take a look. Yeah. It does, in fact, look like a big eyeball, doesn't it? Genuinely feel sorry for Saitama. Same dude's trying so hard and gets shit for existing. He's bored of existence. He's straight up partially unable to feel. This is a giant whale. You're calling it. So Lifeblood has called it. I don't think I can bet against you because you're probably correct. Did I just tickle the rock formation? Let's find out! Why am I going swimming in my Plague Doctor cloak? I should have put my swimsuit on. Oh well. Mizuko, did you get a good swim? There you go. Glide along the water. Make some splash. Can you get up here by going like down and around or something? Let's take a look. Or is it just like a big hop off here? I don't think you can get up from here. Maybe it like meanders around eventually, but I don't feel like looking. Let's just move along. That moment when he realized the grocery store sale was actually that day, not a day later, and he needed cheap groceries. Feel that it hurts. Oh, food costs. Don't we all know that feeling? Is the adult life that bad? It's just a lot more responsibilities than you're used to when you're a kid. So, and it sort of happens all at once you move out of the house. So it kind of hits you like a truck at first, and then you just sort of get used to it, you know? At least that's how it was for me. It's just like the big one, yes. I mean, I did just do some Namazu quests off screen. It's not an ordinary island, and actually it does kind of remind me of a certain primal. Maybe the first version of it. So instead of being a primal in this world, it's a fae? And for some reason, Bismarck is also named Bismarck in this universe, even though he was also Bismarck back home. Okay. He doesn't appear to have feathers in this universe. He appears to be growing plants and trees and stuff. Okay, so you want to basically, instead of, you know, commissioning the Fae to give all of you the blessing of water with the Kojin by manipulating their dreams or something, you want to push the water at the bottom of the ocean away and create an air bubble for all of you to breathe in.
Oh, here we go.
Urian J, I need to understand, bro. You know this is going to kill every fish in that vicinity of that area, right? Like, you know this is, if there's any Ondo living in that area, it's going to displace them forever or until the air bubble pops. I mean, you know, it's probably okay because the air bubble will pop eventually, right? And then they'll all go back to being, you know, where they're supposed to be, right? Okay, supplicate the whale and then we'll go underwater.
Suck.
It's your word of the day today, huh? On that note, you also feel sorry for... Is it Genos or Genos?
Genos.
Is it Genos? Okay, because I was going to say Genos, like Geno from Super Mario RPG. It's the not-so-white whale. He's green this time. Moomin Rider's best pro, change your mind. How are you supposed to do that? That's the joke, I know. Oh, look, he studied some Fae while he was here. Left out his motivation for staying at his rank was literally his desire to help more people the only way he knows how. So can everybody in Sullen hear him right now? Like, how booming is his voice? Or is he just talking in our heads?
Fallen si lor wislan. Ada si alina.
He's thinking it over. Did you notice something there? I don't know if anybody else caught it, but did you hear the word Fuath in there? Because I heard the word Fuath in there. Apparently their name translates to sleep, which means they're sleeping with the fishes. Let's move on.
Dear, I don't need to speak Fae to know that didn't go well.
All you need to do is look at Urian J's expression. Sounds like we need help from Feoul this time. She'll be able to supplicate the whale. Oh look, I finally remembered to call her. It only took me 6.5 fucking levels before the game let me call her to my side.
Oh, my snake yak! You've learned to call me at last!
Yeah, Square Enix wouldn't let me before this. I need a favor.
And where do you go? On a trip?
As you are prone to
I knew
asking.
you wouldn't give up without a fight.
Well, no, I wasn't gonna give up without a fight. I would rather die.
Precious mortal, I shall help you in any way I can.
And I might just, if we don't get to the bottom of the ocean. Now, I can get there just fine, so can Allie say, but the rest of my friends want to be marketable, so they need to commit an ecological disaster by using Bismarck's breath to displace the water. Can you help wake him up, please?
Yes, Bismel we picked. Van Dromi Drom Jacob. Van Red Rithje.
And Feoul is kind of the king now, Bismarck, so, maybe pick up the pace, big guy. Well, that was easy.
Be sure to scrub this one's teeth for him upon your return. It's only good manners.
I mean, that's fair. He's probably going to pick up a bunch of
It
plankton
will
on the
be
way
done,
back.
Your Majesty. Our deepest thanks for your timely intervention.
The real question is who's going to scrub his teeth, Urian J, because I don't think it's going to be you.
An
Probably gonna be
agreement
me and
is
Allie
reached,
say.
and your departure is at hand. You wingless ones best hold on tight.
Bismarck, do you have any seatbelts on this thing? I'll just hold a
May
tree.
the blessings of the Fae keep you safe, Inba.
Thanks, Feoul. I feel like that's supposed to be louder, but I probably have my sound effects down. Now, here's a question that I have. Instead of, like, displacing all of the water in the area that we're going to, couldn't he just, like, give us, like, bubble helmets or something? I mean, it's Fae, so, like, they could create some kind of enchantment where the air ether in the bubble just, like, replenishes itself like a rebreather. Instead of doing something like that, which would not cause an ecological disaster, we are now on a flying whale that is going to cause an ecological disaster by making an entire area of water an area of air. You'll see how this pans out in a few minutes, though. Let's let them get us there first. And scare the fuck out of these boat people at Venmont Yards.
Okay, this scene is actually funny.
No, this is genuinely funny. Because they're all like bullshitting and they're like, is that a flying whale?
100 years of honey and rainbows.
I mean, that would be nice.
Seeing them Yulmore types wake up and smell the ashes is miracle enough for me.
You think you die and everything is sunshine and rainbows?
Ah, the magic in the air when that ladder started moving. And when that great hulking Talos rose up. Gods. I could live 1,000 years and never behold anything so amazing.
We'll let this man pause for dramatic effect while I read through chat, because I missed a little bit of it. Question no one can avoid in a fandom. Who do you ship Saitama with? You don't ship him? Really? Why would I ship him? You're not really deep in any of the rabbit holes. You're shipping trash. You're very selective about when you ship. Okay. Gotcha. Several indications that Fubuki and Saitama is an official ship. Who do I think, as everyone looks at me, who do I think Saitama should be shipped with?
Jimmy has not seen One Punch Man, so...
That would require me to know any character other than Saitama from One Punch Man, and I only know Saitama from the memes, so I don't know.
See, I know things because I'm current with the manga, and is anybody else current with the manga in the
Water. You see
in
that?
this chat?
Oh, on cleaning the whale's teeth? Yeah, it's gonna be me, yeah. Speaking of the whale... Well, now I've bloody seen everything. You guys might want to move. There's gonna be a tsunami in a second.
Monster! Where did it even come from?
You guys don't seem too scared, considering you're calling it a monster. Speaking of a monster. We should leave.
Whoa, yeah. It's not stopping.
What makes you think it was gonna stop? It's water. It has the same physics as every other bit of water. And just like that, Venmont Yards was underwater for a few minutes. So not only is this an ecological disaster, we also just caused an industrial one. Yay! Thanks, big guy. We'll call you again if we need to displace any other cultures. Actually, honestly, I actually really like Bismarck's voice, though. It kind of reminds me of, like, the voice from Shadow of the Colossus a little bit, although not nearly as sinister. Know what else I like? Is the aesthetics of the area we're about to go to, because despite us committing an ecological disaster to get here, well, I'll let you see in a second. Once the water stops, you know, flowing around.
Wow.
Yeah, that's about right. Welcome to the bottom of the ocean, everybody.
The breath of Bismarck. See how it swells to form a dome beneath the waves? The waters recede. The tempest's floor is laid bare.
We could have gone here without laying it bare, if my friends weren't here.
In defiance of the blinding sky, this place holds fast to its gloom.
About time we got some darkness in this X-Pack.
The last refuge of he
The
who
darkness.
denies the light with every fiber of his being.
I don't know why they show Emmett Selk praying here. Unless he's just got his hands up like he's plotting and scheming, but there's no table to rest his elbows on.
Journey unto the heart of darkness.
He could be resting them on his
Finish
knees.
it.
It's true. But where is he resting his knees at? Let's find out in The Tempest. When was the breathing underwater explained? That was in the last X-Pack. These turtle people gave us a blessing that allowed us to breathe water as air. So.
You know, the turtle people.
Mm-hmm. How did you hold your breath for long enough for us to get down to the bottom of the ocean, Urianje? That was a long drop.
What a base, man.
How did everybody else hold their breath that long? Like, Alice and me were like, okay, well, whatever.
Big and chilling.
Yeah, he probably had a bit of a hard time bringing Graha into the rift, because Graha's ether probably wouldn't have held together too long in there. And also there's that. Yeah, easier said than done. Ah yes, the turtle people you most certainly know about. I think we finished their Beast Tribe quest before you started watching the streams, so I think we finished their quests in stream number 10. So you probably wouldn't know, because I don't think you got here until... probably Raktika. So... Anyway, we can get back down here by speaking to the people of Venmont Yards that we just committed the industrial disaster to, but I'm not going to worry about that. We did everything we need to do on the surface for now. So let's go and see what's waiting in the depths. No, probably not. Surely he has some sort of throne down here.
Surely.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, it's sand, so it's probably like going to swallow our feet if it's slippery.
Schlorp.
Just sort of give way under weight of... Well, actually it might not, though, considering it's borne the pressure of all of this water for, you know, thousands of years before being displaced.
I think it's more like sandstone.
Yeah. And in case anyone's waiting for my rant about the ecological disaster, we're not quite at a town yet. Let's get to a town first, and then I'll talk about it.
And then I get to talk about things too.
Yay. 86 to the south.
I'm right behind you, by the way. I'm still in the cutscene with Bismarck.
Oh
By
my
that I mean entering the
God.
cutscene, so I can skip it.
Oh, okay. That Cleonid just cannibalized that Loach. I didn't know enemies killed each other down here. That's interesting. Ah, yes, monsters that normally exist below the waves are perfectly fine in air. Their bodies aren't drying out at all. Nope. Can't wait to see random people down here.
All downhill from here, everyone.
That's
I
correct
say,
because we're
drinking myself into a coma.
That's correct because we're going down the ocean shelf. That's why it's literally all downhill from here, because we're going down an ocean shelf.
By the way, I upgraded my audio setup. I finally bought the new mic. So, if I ever appear on stream again, I can increase the gain of my microphone to torment people.
Very nice. Do you have anything to hold it up yet?
I have a stand. It comes with a stand arm and a pop filter.
Oh, okay, that's cool. So when is that? And I'm not going to ask when that comes in, but that's not now. That's like
Soon TM.
soonish, yeah. Probably before you go on vacay.
Good.
Alright, it said 234 to the southwest, so we're from here. 152 to the west, okay. I'm just looking for ether currents down here because there's a total of 4 as usual, and I want to have all of them so we can fly around on the ocean floor. Which seems like an oxymoron to me, but you know. I feel like this would be a nice place for it, but 47 to the northwest. Ah, I see. Yes, we made it to the Tempest. We are now in the air bubble thing. I'm saving my rant until we find a civilization down here so I can talk about the implications of what happened there. Because at the moment, like, the implication is, well, it's okay, surely Bismarck's air bubble will dispel once we leave this area, because that's convenient to the story, right? We'll get there. 354 southeast.
Screams internally, because also I have things to say, because I play devil's advocate on this stream. It's what you pay me to do. I mean, it's what I'm here for.
I don't pay you. I don't get paid enough to pay you. We play
Imagine
for
getting
free.
paid.
We pay for
Our sub says otherwise.
Okay, that's true. We pay to play this game. Why do I pay to play this game? So I'm gonna guess this 354 to the southeast is in the depths down here, isn't it? 242? Something. It might be. Might not be. Before we worry about that, though, let's get across this ravine, because the place we need to go is in that rock formation over there.
You get paid now, so pay him.
There you go, Cole. Lifeblood gave you 1 bit.
Yeah.
Thanks for the bit, Lifeblood. I appreciate that. Actually, I
Well,
bought
it seems
Cole.
you missed it when I wrote it, but it's somewhat to date on One Punch Man lore. Oh, cool. Have you read the newest chapter? It causes me pain.
I was gonna say, actually, I bought Cole lunch today. He has to come pick it up, so technically speaking, he should be paying me for that, but he can do that later.
Well, I already made myself lunch, and I'm making stroganoff for dinner.
Ah. So you can pick it up for dinner. You still
I
dying
don't know
from
why
the
I'm
water?
coughing.
You still dying from the water that you tried to swallow as air?
Yeah. If you're wondering why I'm behind you in quest, it's because I queued up for a dungeon, gave up, did the level 80 Sage quest. So now I have access to one of my fucking better skills, and now I'm behind you.
Ah. Most people have the same draw distance. If you have an ether current within 100 yalms, should be able to see it if you don't change altitude. That's what you learned back in Heavensward. That's good to know. I didn't know that. I'll have to keep that in mind. Why am I walking around on Summoner when I can walk around on Minor and not even aggro these Dagons or these Tempest Swallows? Good lord. I'm gonna have to keep Mizuko on a leash. Can't have her doing cross-world, that stuff.
Izuko fucking flying around like,
Yeah, this area's theme is it's actually really solid. I don't feel like it has a this is the final area theme to it like the Locks or As Is Law did, but it kind of makes it unique in a way because it doesn't have that feeling to it, you know? So at this point, I should probably just stick the ether compass right here. There. It says 42 to the east, which probably means it's below me. 27 northeast. Yeah, it's definitely not on top of this swallow, which means it's below me. Alright, well, we'll get it when we get down there. For now...
The swallow just ignoring you.
It is. I'm in stealth mode.
I'm very much so waiting for you to get to a town so we can have probably the second most heated discussion on stream. We haven't had the most heated discussion yet.
Is it gonna be the second most heated discussion?
Well, the first one's going to be Soken's music.
Yeah, probably. Speaking of the Ando, you okay there, buddy? I understand that the water became air temporarily. Hi. Oh, okay.
Hello.
Bye. In he goes. That's not anything unusual in the Norvrant slope. I'm pretty sure Ando being in the Norvrant slope is normal. We're the ones who are unusual here, game. Because we're just walking around. What are these Dagons? I think if I remember right, those Dagons are like crabs. That's what they were in Final Fantasy Legend 2, anyway. So, they're big crabs. Kind of hard to see them, though, because of the lighting down here. Oh, there's Neither right here, so I guess we'll hit this up. I can't tell if it looks different from the ones up on top. I think it does, because it doesn't have anything surrounding it, right? Yeah, it's just got this, like, cage. So it's a little different from the ones up top. Well, anyway. Finality is something you can hear. You love that about music. Yeah, it's just one of those things that the ear is attuned to when you play enough of these games. Excuse me. We mean you no harm, even though we just displaced your entire culture. Forever. Technically it was Bismarck, but yes. You would think at this point they wouldn't be willing to help us at all. And these guys just come swaggering in like this is no problem. You weren't? What the fuck? Alpha, no, you traded oranges with these fuckers. What do you mean you weren't aware they lived here? Where do you think they lived?
Well, not specifically here. They're probably all over the sea.
Yeah.
I mean, in a fucking trade deal, you were like, here, have some oranges. You're not going to ask them about their exact location of their hometown.
I mean, depends on how much small talk they had. I don't feel like they're going to understand at all, Alphino. I feel like it would be really dumb of them to understand at all. We just disrupted their home, their culture. We literally did something that I'm sure Emmett Selk has done multiple times in his lifetime. No. Who are the ancient ones? The Illuminated Land, huh? Okay, he said leave. Let's go, everybody. No, he would not be willing to elaborate, because if we need elaboration, then we're not... Like, look at... Tolshus Oth is literally me right now, because he's just dumbfounded at how fucking stupid we're being right now. No, he's not going to elaborate, Alphino, because if you need elaboration on who the Ancient Ones are, then that means we're not emissaries of the Ancient Ones. Need to link me some of the Etrian Odyssey, Final Stratum, or Labyrinth themes. Yuzo Koshiro's amazing. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I mean, we already displaced their culture forever, so I don't think I'd want to have them all turn into Light Wardens or Sin Eaters either, if I explode.
Or at least there's no fucking Sin Eaters down here.
Yeah, that just means we have to kill the local wildlife to get by. Which I'm upset by. Obviously. by the scribes, is this game bad? See, I just want to know the boardroom meeting where this happened, right? Okay, I guess we should finish this cutscene before I talk about it, but I just wanted to see what the boardroom meeting for this is like, where the writer of the story, Ishikawa, went to the boardroom and said, okay, so here's my plan for the final area. We're going to have them go underwater. And then somebody who worked on Stormblood was like, they already did that in the Ruby Sea. And then she was like, oh, okay, did they go to the bottom of the sea, though? Yes, they did. They found an ancient palace down there, like the Japanese version of Atlantis. And she's like, shit, well, I wanted them to find Atlantis in my area, too. And then somebody else who worked on Stormblood said, hey, so, Alice and the Warrior of Light are the only people left in your group that have the Blessing of Water. So how are we going to get the other Scions down there anyway, since Square Enix wants us to make them marketable? And then Ishikawa, with just a glow in her eyes, looks up and has this moment that she thinks is genius, where she says directly to everyone in the room, screaming at the top of her lungs, they're going to commit an ecological disaster to get there. Let's just move on. I'll let Cole talk about
But
it.
also in
second.
doing so, they set up the idea that there are first versions of the primals, which comes up in the one quest line we're not doing, which solves this entire fucking problem.
Actually, it doesn't solve this problem.
Sorry, I melted. I apologize.
So
I turned to dust before your very eyes.
It's a good thing you dusted earlier. You'd just be part of the woodwork now.
Fraggle Fraggle!
At least there's no Senators down here. Insert Archaeotania here. Pretty sure that's worse. Archaeotania is pretty bad, yeah. What was I saying? I don't even remember. My brain's melting from playing this game, so...
Have you considered stopping?
Yes. Multiple times. But then the fandom would tell me that I didn't finish it, so my opinion's invalid. I wouldn't listen to
Fair
them,
enough.
but I'd have to listen to them, so... That means we need to find another inn with the Ando. Maybe if we turn the whole place back to water and then, just Alice and I come down here. Oh, right, you guys have to be marketable, so Square Enix won't allow that.
Now I'm just gonna sit over here and I'm gonna wait
So wait, hang on,
I can talk
Alphino.
about stuff.
Hang on, Alphino, wait, let's back up a second. We already lied to the people of Fano that we were emissaries of Ronka. You want me to lie to these people too, after we displaced their culture forever? What the fuck? What is this video game? I'm not the hero anymore! We're lying to these people that we just uprooted their culture for it. They will literally, okay, I need you to understand, okay, because this is going to happen in a few minutes when we get to this quest. There's a series of quests that we're going to do for an Ether Current where they literally tell you, the Ando literally tell you, you've uprooted our culture forever, so now we have a crisis where we don't know how to have our matriarchs give birth anymore. Can you help us fix it? Like, that's how bad this is of a situation that we've created. But they aren't marketable? Yeah, that Square Enix wants them to be marketable. And to be fair, it's worked for them. A lot of people have bought Ishtola-based merchandise to do dirty things with. But, you are the Shadowbringer.
How hard are you molding at the moment? Yes.
It was already very dark down here, so I don't think I need to bring Shadow down here. If anything, Emmett brought enough Shadow with him, because he is also the Shadowbringer.
John Shadowbringers.
Yes, that is him. I'm sure that's a name that already exists in this game. I'm half tempted to look it up on a character search.
John Endwalker.
Urianje, our purpose is inimical to them, okay? Like, I don't even need to look up that word to know what it means. There's your SAT word for the day, inimical. I don't even need to look it up to know that we have just inconvenienced these people forever. So yeah, they're gonna have you do chores and side questy stuff in the main quest again, because the Ando won't help us until we appease them with oranges and other assorted land-based materials. Let's aid the settlement, and then surely they'll, help us, even though we've destroyed their culture forever. Let's do what we do best, gang. Although at this point, that begs debate, because doing what we do best at this point seems to be destroying other people's cultures. Still want to fight our Chaotania, but the fate chain keeps breaking. You know, no one is fighting it. Why? Looks it up. Who the fuck thought it was okay to make a fate chain have a chance of success? People who make an MMO to get you to play it for longer.
I'm gonna sit over here and just stay quiet until it's my turn to talk.
I think Alphinode's almost done talking. As a matter of fact, he walked away from me, so I think it's your turn to talk. Feel free. Say what you'd like.
Alright, so everyone, as you can probably see, we have committed an ecological disaster in this part of the game. Which, okay, I'll give you that. We did do that. So, here's the thing about this. Hold on, I'm attuning to the Aetheryte, and then I'll...
That's fine.
Party. Here's the thing about this ecological disaster we caused. So you may be asking yourself, everyone, wow, we've committed no less than 2 ecological disasters, one of which was to save the world from a light warden and uproot a mountain, which, sure, that one's understandable. This one, a touch less. They could have brought back the Blessing of Water and just had Bismarck give that to us and then bring us down here. The environment didn't even have to change all that much. Just let it be a little weird, a little wacky.
I, for one, would have been cool with moonwalking and having water physics on my camera for the entire area. That would have been awesome.
And the other thing is that, of course, you know, uprooting the mountain and turning into a giant robot, that's kind of cool. Not to mention, we also used it to beat the shit out of Vothri, who kind of needed to die, otherwise the world would end. Granted, some bullshit happened along the way. Here's the thing. So, there is a quest chain that we are not doing in this stream through, which is unfortunate, because it kind of does something to sort of make up for all the shit we cause. As you all know, the first is composed of almost entirely barren land. 80% of the planet is gone. Like a wasteland where city eaters are born and come off past the Great Wall and fuck people up.
90%, by the way.
90%. There is a quest chain that is based in the raids of there for Eden. Now, Eden is discovered after the main story of all this crap happens, and it follows Reen and her girlfriend, basically, trying to solve the ecological crisis of the first by trying to re-imbue the entire planet with ether by summoning various primals, and it gets a little wacky and leads to us murdering another Ascian.
To give you context for how wacky it gets, Tetsuya Nomura was a co-writer on those raids. That's how wacky.
Now the thing is that at the end of the Eden quests, when you finish up 12 in the normal modes, the entire planet, basically, is now re-sowed with life and is no longer a barren wasteland. The first is going to recover and be able to expand out again because ether has been balanced past light, there's darkness, there's ice. Every element in existence is now balanced on the first, and as such, we solved the single biggest ecological disaster on the planet, all the while killing an Ascian and getting Reen a girlfriend.
You know what that doesn't do, though? Doesn't get rid of the air bubble down here.
Yes, that is true.
There is a distinct mechanical reason why they can never get rid of Bismarck's air bubble down here, which is if they got rid of Bismarck's air bubble, this zone wouldn't be a zone, according to Square Enix. So now I want to be clear on this. The air bubble remains forever. Until this game dies, the air bubble will stay here. Until this game's servers are turned off, the Ondo's culture will be forever displaced. And the reason why is because I don't really know why, because we have the Blessing of Water so we could swim around down here. And our friends only come down here up until at the most patch 5.2, the ones that can't breathe water as air.
Which is why my personal headcanon is that the air bubble pops every time we leave,
but it
and water refloods into the area safely because Bismarck only keeps the bubble temporarily while we're here.
But it doesn't do that. Mechanically speaking, this is the tree falling in the forest question. Should I save my searing light until you get here?
I mean, mechanically speaking, enemies die and yet they respawn out of thin air without fucking any explanation of the fact that it's an MMO.
Yeah.
So ridiculous shit is just prone to happen.
This is beyond my suspension of disbelief, though. Like, this area forever being air ether is beyond my suspension of disbelief. That's the thing. There's a different point where people's suspension of disbelief is broken for them, and this one is beyond me, because it fundamentally causes a problem with the absolute moral good that the game wants you to feel like you are, because they literally have Graha propping you up and saying, you're the hero of this story, you're the reason why I did everything that I did. They say that, and then you go down here, and you do something that's fundamentally awful for the environment, and... Okay, so there's a line that's going to come up in the quests that we're going to be doing, where the matriarch of the entire clan, who should be rightfully very pissed off at you because, you know, you caused an ecological disaster that made it so she can't really give birth, she's going to say, oh, but I know you must have had the most justified of reasons for being down here. Like, no, we don't. My friends needed to come down here because Square Enix didn't know how to just give them air bubbles on their heads. Like, we could all be wearing these little air bubbles on our heads and it would solve this whole problem. And
see, here's the thing.
Then we'd be hopping
we agree on
around
one specific portion
like we're on
here.
The moon.
See, here's the
Oh,
thing.
you still have
I
something
agree.
to kill. Hang on. I'll help you.
See, we agree on one particular portion here. Causing an ecological disaster would have been much more stomachable if they specifically stated that Bismarck pops the air bubble every time we leave, and then every time we come back, he simply pops it back up again. He's a fucking ancient Fey deity. He can just do shit like that. And yeah, the Ondo are displaced. That means that every time we as the characters show up, the air bubble comes back, but it will always go away once we leave, meaning that the air bubble only remains as long as we are conscientiously in the area.
Yeah, but you
and
didn't even
not
need
to
to
mention,
make it that complex. Like I said, all we needed were little teeny tiny air bubbles over our heads that Bismarck just created. He just plops us on the ocean floor. We already know that physics don't apply in this world because we could
they have
be on
enough
the
trouble
ocean floor
giving
previously.
fucking Hrothgar hair. Do you really think that they would have been able to give characters bubbles?
That sounds like a skill issue on Square Enix's part.
That sounds like they don't crunch and therefore don't have time to specifically work into their character models.
I know,
because
and
their
that's
character
why they
models
write
are
themselves
designed
into
in a specific
corners
way.
all the time because they don't have time to fix these gigantic holes that they create for themselves.
Because they don't do crunch.
I'm aware that they do crunch. They may say they don't do crunch. They do crunch. But I'm aware of the fact that they don't do that as often as other companies do. It doesn't fix
They
the
crunch because
problem.
they want to. They are not forced to crunch and not literally in their contract said if you don't work overtime for an extra 10 hours, which we're not going to pay you for, you cannot get paid.
Yeah. No, I understand. And it's good that they don't force their developers to do that stuff. I'm just saying it creates a problem that fundamentally grates against what they want the character to feel when they do the playthroughs here. They want you to feel like the hero of this story, but they continue to have you create more and more problems for the people of these areas. And that's where the
And yet we
disconnect is
solve
for me.
the 90% of the world is gone inside of a side plot, which is connected to the main story and by
But we
extension
don't
one of
solve
the main
this.
characters.
But we don't solve this big air bubble. It's here forever.
That's because your suspension of disbelief is crushed more easily than a piece of talc under a compression.
I mean, it is because my suspension of disbelief was broken, but it's because of the juxtaposition of the absolute, you are the absolute moral good that inspired 800 years of technological development thing that they did like 4 quests ago. So, anyway, let me go back and read what I missed in chat. You spent 5 fucking days trying to spawn Archaeo Tanya yourself. That's outside of the 3-day window or cooldown. Why the fuck did the Fate Chain never go past the point of breaking? Good question. Think they're dating to your boyfriend, you finished E8, got to that cutscene and said, man, these two are hella gay.
Listen, the crystal turns a rainbow color. It's so goddamn obvious.
That's because you're a scholar, Alpha. No, I'm on a DPS class. You can't kill things as fast as I can. We've committed genocide on the local crab population. And now these people are just going to say, oh, awesome, you guys are okay then.
Anything we're hunting in this area has already probably been hunted by the Ondo themselves for food and resources, so we're not committing any greater ecological genocide than this species already was.
Actually, they specifically said they were having an acute crisis with the crabs, where the crabs are now faster than them because there's no water, which was our fault.
Well, at least we're trying to solve the damn problems we're having while we're down here, instead of saying, well, tough shit, we got an Ascian to go murder.
Yeah, but this is like... Okay.
Cope Seathmald.
Okay, but this is like there's a giant hole in the wall, right? And then there's like these few little pinprick holes in the wall. And this is like ignoring the giant hole and just putting a band-aid over the pinprick holes. We're not solving the problem that's creating the other problems here, so the other problems will continue to pop up.
Which is why, if you simply allow your suspension of disbelief to believe that Bismarck simply pops the bubble whenever we leave, and we can't currently leave in story because the story is taking place in this general area, we are fine.
Nope. Can't do it. Can't do it. It's just it's too bullshit for my head to wrap around and say, yeah, that's right. It brings me out of the game to explicitly say that, and I don't want it to. So anyway, there was an ancient city down here at one point, and it probably all sank down the shelf, the slope, at some point. Oh, okay. So now they're going to invent a bullshit excuse as to why we're allowed to stay here and they're going to help us, which is, oh yeah, okay, well, if we decide that you're the reason that, like, you're the returning reason the ancients are coming, or whatever he just said, then you'll be welcome here. And it's like, just somebody just kill me, please. If it's determined that your arrival signifies the return of the ancients, there you go. That's what I meant to say. My brain was having a moment. So what do we do now? More side quests in the main quest. Got it. Yeah, well, I already, brainlidded this whole thing, so I'll just stop thinking now. No think, just consume media. That was a long quest. It also, I think, opened up the Ether Current quest that we'll be doing in a little bit here. So, is Bismarck the Ancient? No. We'll talk about who the Ancients are in just a little bit, but Bismarck is not them. So, I've learned that the crabs can chase these people around now, which is another problem that we caused. Sure, they remembered that you're blind now. Good, let's go help you with that then. Yeah, so this quest over here, Coal of the Cups, is the Ether Current quest for the area. And we'll be doing that entire set of 4 quests because we created a problem coming down here, so it's only right that I help them solve the problem to some extent, even though it's like the most bare bones possible solve the problem that there could be in these situations. Like, just Bismarck is always the massive whale being hunted by Captain Ahab. Oh wait, that's Moby Dick, wrong medium. We did harpoon Bismarck back in the source when we first fought him, though, so I guess that's where that came from. I should swap to Miner and then swap to Ninja, because I won't need my MP on Ninja. I can cast, I wonder where that mineral deposit is. I can cast spells on Ninja without using MP. Oh, that's funny.
Look at him go.
That's hilarious. I don't know why that happened, but that's hilarious. Okay, what are the 2 tasks? Okay. This sounds like we're committing problems archaeologically too now, Stola, but okay, sure. Are they gonna misremember that you can't, that you can see again? Oh, okay. Target a building and examine it. That's a building, I think. Inspect the building for defining features. Distinctive window. It was a window at one point. Maybe they made big Gothic-style churches at some point. Although those aren't really Gothic-style buildings, so. Yeah, I was laughing at Cole's Toy Alexander slowly meandering across the ocean floor in case that anybody missed that part. So, there you go. Remnant wall. Guess we're scraping this up, Interceptor. With this mithril knife that should probably break on this wall, because this wall is level 79, and this mithril knife is like level 35. Oh, good. I couldn't even remove anything from it. Fantastic. The realism of a level 35 knife not being able to break a level 79 stone.
What the rock doing?
Being a rock. You still have your old talent. You can tell what weather phase is about to happen during Bismarck EX. It's such a subtle thing. I've never done Bismarck EX, so I wouldn't even know. Still a knife not sharp enough! Bismarck is the advisor to one of the German Kaiser, and also the name of a one-of-a-kind German battleship in the Second World War. Yeah, and I think that's probably part of where they got the inspiration for the name from, is probably from the German battleship. So I don't know how that translates to blue whale, but to be fair, this isn't the first Final Fantasy to use Bismarck as a whale. That was Final Fantasy VI. Which is fine. You know, Bismarck can be a whale, whatever. Creative liberties. You would agree that the... Oh my god. It's not even consistent. Her sight isn't even consistent within the same quest anymore. Jesus fuck. You're blind. My sight wouldn't match yours. You can see ether signatures. I can see everything else. Stop it. How do you know what the materials are? You're blind. So is it etherically charged? Is that why you can see it?
Considering what we learn about it in a few cutscenes from now, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, considering the knife couldn't cut it, it's probably etherically charged with some kind of stability magic. I mean, it's in very good condition given the fact that it's been underwater for literally eons.
True. Very true. Then again, physics don't exist in this world, which is why we can stand down here without being crushed to death. So. But, you know.
If JRPG protagonists can survive falls of infinite height, we can survive standing in an area with nearly infinite pressure.
That's true. Probably true. Funny, the fish Bismarck was named after the advisor who loved eating it. So now it came full circle. The fish was named after the advisor, and then it named a summon in Final Fantasy. So do you think this predates Ronka? Like, it has to be ancienter technology to be better than the ancient technology.
Hyper ancient.
Because he used to live here? Yeah, probably has some sort of, excuse the pun, deep connection to this place. I didn't even think about that one until it was almost off my tongue.
I'm gonna throw you deeper into the ocean.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking. He probably used to live here, although I don't know how. But it could have been built by the ancient Ascians. I have 6 tabs open. Why is your memory usage at 74% Chrome? Yeah, I can't do that with my internet browser anymore. I downloaded Opera GX specifically so that I could limit my CPU usage.
Wow, same.
Firefox was like, hey, you have 2 tabs open and using 33% of your CPU to do it. I'm like, fuck no. You get nothing.
Opera GX is a good browser. I'm using it right now.
I have it. I finally downloaded
As we speak.
Yeah. The advisor was long before the battleship. The First World War wasn't a thing yet. Okay, so yeah. So the advisor, and then they named the fish after the advisor. Then they probably named the battleship after the advisor as well, right? And so then Square Enix named the whale after all of the above, basically. Especially at the bottom of the ocean. I mean, stuff seems to be pretty intact down here, considering. Oh, okay. You went all the way back to Fano after our victory in Calusia? I guess they really were searching for a solution. They went everywhere.
Almost like you're their friend or something.
Yeah, even though they couldn't solve this problem, no matter how much they tried.
At least they tried. It's better than sitting around doing nothing.
It's better than committing 2 ecological disasters in 2 zones.
Oh my fucking god, I'm gonna have to do this shit for the rest of the stream, aren't I? Oh, we commit to ecological
can-
disasters.
we can-
Conveniently doesn't do the one where we solve an ecological disaster. It's almost as if you angled the schedule to make you hate this game more or something.
No, I don't
Man,
think
I'm violent
necessarily.
today.
I don't think we necessarily adjusted the schedule to do that. It's just that the ecological disaster that I'm referring to here specifically isn't solved by that quest, and actually, come to think of it, neither is the Kaiju Talos. That will always be in Calusia's sky forever, so if any dwarves considered those mountains sacred, well, they're going to have to hike up them a little more now.
To be fair, the Kaiju Talos was necessary for us to actually get to Vol 3.
Not necessary. Ronkin ruins. Even though they're not Ronkin. Even though they named them Ronkin. Even though they're not Ronkin. Logic loop detected. Error. Error. We have to search for a structure that resembles the buildings in the mural, then inspect it from a survey point, which is found nearby.
By the way, I'm ahead of you in this quest, and I'm not telling you shit about where it is out of spite.
That's fine. I can see you on the map.
How hard are you mauling at the moment?
Not. Not. Other than the fact that we
mauling.
committed an ecological disaster. Find a structure which resembles those in the copy of the Katana Ravel mural, then inspect it from the survey point. What does this look like? Okay. So, search for... Area further northwest of the Ondo Cups may be a good place to start. It's probably up here on the slope somewhere, like at the walls of the Forgotten. Let's go back that way. It's probably over by the ether current that we got up here, so maybe I should have left that there so that I would have a good point of origin to go by it. Anyway, here's the Dagon. There's a crab under there, trust me.
What do you say, X7?
Did somebody? Let me see here. You know what
Didn't
this
hear
reminds
anybody
you of the
mention
Mega
X7.
Man games that we played that were equally bad. Yes, that was in fact X7, that's correct. Can I walk across this ghost coral?
The fact that we've reached
Yes,
a
I
point
can.
where we're comparing this game to Mega Man X7 makes me depressed beyond belief.
Why? That means we're almost done with this game. And then you don't have to listen to me bitch about it anymore.
That day cannot come fast enough.
But you decided to take a vacation in the middle of it.
In my defense, I had
I'm not
good reason
blaming
for
you
that.
for it. I'd want to take a vacation from this game too. Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
Pain, misery, agony, despair.
So I wonder if this structure is similar.
I will trash that game for the rest of time. You will not stop me. Why would I stop you? I hate X7 too.
I can't believe we made it through X7, to be honest with you. Like, I thought for
I'm
sure
surprised
that,
you didn't have a psychological meltdown when you
I
heard him say
thought
burn to the
for
ground.
sure that I was going to have a psychological meltdown when it happened, but it didn't happen, so... Oh, look, I found
I'm
the
more
survey
surprised
point.
you got through Flame High-Yard.
You know what the
without
funny
having a
part is? We
psychological
almost
meltdown.
didn't get through Flame Hyanard because the stage was trying to murder me with stupidity before that. There's an entire 3-minute clip of Mega Man X7 just being X7 that's on my channel that's just like... Okay, well... So this looks like the top of that section. Oh look, Ishtola followed me, which you could probably follow by my etheric signature. You laugh. You support people who are supposedly good with taxes or finances, but they don't understand why their computer's running slowly with 50 tabs open. And some of them throw a tantrum when you suggest closing the tabs they aren't currently using. You're not using 30 of the 50 tabs. Why won't you close them? Just fix my computer. It's too slow for me to work. Yeah, about that. Patiently awaits the X9 we all have dreamt of that either leads to X10 or into the Zero games. Man, the fucking Mega Man timeline is so fucked up. In the Mordekaiser voice. Suffer! I don't know if that's the Mordekaiser voice. That's the Abyssion voice, actually. So,
Fuck, I heard that.
that was the plan. How can you tell, Ishtola? You shouldn't be able to see the outline of the building. Well, maybe you can because it's etherically charged.
It's etherically
but,
charged.
Yeah. Something like that.
Every
And now
time
it's
that
at the
I
bottom of the
get
ocean.
mad, every time that I get angry at Final Fantasy, I get up and I stare at my pot of stroganoff and I'm just like, delicious.
This will be done soon.
It's actually not going to be done until 10 o'clock at night tonight. Fucking shoot me.
Damn. You gotta smell it all the way till then. Holy shit.
I had lunch at 2.
Oh no. Should get some fruit or something in between.
Yeah. I used to play Mordecai's, and I realized I like Mages more. Bonk.
The reason you didn't compare these games sooner is because you forgot about it. Man, I wish I could forget about X7.
Wish I could forget about this playthrough of Final Fantasy.
You can't, well, you can forget it, but there's photographic evidence of it on the internet forever now.
And photographic evidence of me dying on this hill that this game is good. None can say that I am easily distraught.
No, it's fine, and I want to be clear again. My opinion on this should not influence other people's opinion on this. I'm framing it the way that I subjectively see it, but I'd like you to come to your conclusions on how the game is yourself, rather than just listening to me talk about it, so. Ishtola, if our deeds are enough to win them over, the Ondo are stupider than I thought, but anyway. Yeah, we gotta keep going, so that we can figure out why Emmett Selk turned the lights back on in the ancient city. Is this back in? Yes, it is. So that teleport offer will come in handy for me. There. And the gemstone trader is available now. So let's open up the shop with him. Do I have enough? No, I don't have enough to do it. Okay. Well, I have to do 6 fates in this area in order to get mount speed here, but I can do that over the weekend. So, no big deal. Because we can get a riding map once I get to 70, but I need to do a total of 6 fates in this area to get exactly enough gemstones to buy both the Tempest riding map and the one that I missed in Amarang. So, once I do that, I'll be at level 2 in all the areas. Please, gemstone trader, give me your music! You destroyed someone playing Brand Top. You can't farm if I can deny the zone and fuck the fuck out of you with your Q all the time. There you go. Enemy jungle was living in top lane.
It should influence other people. Mono people have bad taste. Yeah, I have bad taste, and I'm proud of it.
No, and again, that's fine. This is why I brought Cole, though, with me, because I feel like if I was the only one here, I'd just be screaming into the void for 120 hours. So Cole is here to balance that out a little bit. Are they the ruins to the northwest? Because I think we were just there. A sacred site, huh? Actually, my steps were guided there by a mural from the Ronkins, who, technically speaking, were ancient. Okay. Wait, you have a craftsman who lives in the ocean? How does he live? Does he live down here, or does he live, like, what counts as in the ocean here, Pouches? Okay. Oh, yeah, so remember that Grenault guy that they told us about like 5 quests ago? Well, apparently, he lives at the bottom of the ocean now. Isn't that convenient? So let's go talk to Grenault. The reason why Grenault is down here will make a lot more sense in a couple of minutes once we go there, but we'll talk about it in a second. Yeah, it's the first counterpart to Geralt, the one that does all of the, like, the relic weapon quests back in A Realm Reborn, Heaven's Ward, Stormblood, and I think he does them for this one, too? Not Grenault, like, Geralt does it, because I think he's involved with Bozja, if I remember right. So.
Bozja, the new relic quests, the relic quests before that.
Mm-hmm.
I love how the new relic quests have him playing on his PTSD of being around Rowena so much that he's actually, like, physically afraid of her.
He's always been physically afraid of her, though, if I recall
Fucking...
correctly.
Okay, so, the new relic quest. The first thing that happens when they bring him in, is that Rowena shows up, and he is fucking gone. And since it involves a very specific character that is, well, let's say rather infamous in Final Fantasy for being the most comedic man alive, it's 2 people that he now has PTSD from.
You cut off their PTSD from
2 people now.
Hmm.
God, I can't wait to get my new mic. Then I won't have to fucking worry about this shitty-ass headset.
Your taste makes no sense. You like Yggdra Union. You're gonna show the shit out of that game. Want to suggest it for me? Hell, you'll buy it for me. Probably won't finish, but it'll be enough. No, I'll buy it. It's fine. I'll help support the developers even if I don't finish it. My friend saw him and said, if he starts talking about relic weapons, I'm leaving. Valid response. It's not quite relic weapons, but basically the reason why Grunalt is here is because they want to make sure you have enough gear to actually play the next quests, so.
Correct.
Actually, Grunalt, I'm not a ghost. I can help psych him up from his crushing bout of self-doubt. I'll try. If you don't get your ass off the ground right now, I'll sick Rowena on you. Wait, that's gonna make it worse. Never mind. No, usually they try to drag your spirits to hell. Wife from is still molding about the Realm Reborn relic. Don't think he ever finished one. Well, we're 2 peas in the same pod then, because I'm never gonna finish a relic weapon quest. He does look familiar. He just has longer
I've finished
hair.
I've finished one of the relic weapon quests. Actually, no, I've finished 2.
I was gonna say, yeah, you've gotten a couple, I think. So your name is Grunalt, then. Well, actually, Catalyst and all them at the Crystalline Mean were talking about you. I just didn't expect to find you down here in the most convenient of places for this purpose of the story.
To be fair, I would also move to the bottom of the sea to get away from Rowena.
There's no Rowena in this world, though.
That you know of.
That's true. Well, actually,
there is no god nor sin eater that
Ondo,
could strike down Rowena.
The Ondo need their lamp back. Yeah. What do you mean you haven't made a start of it? They commissioned you to do it, didn't they? Sir, this appears to be a significant bout of depression that you're dealing with. Have you ever considered going up to the surface to get some sunlight and fresh air? Oh boy. Yeah, that's why this lamp is so important, man. What do you mean? Yeah, so just like Geralt in the Source, Grunalt needs a source of inspiration to do any work because he doesn't get paid enough, I guess. I mean, he probably doesn't get paid at all down here, so. Perhaps? What do you have in mind? Uh-huh. Oh, gee, you need the spark of life caught in a crystal. You know, that's probably pretty hard to come by, but conveniently enough, I happen to have 4 crystals that had sparks of life in them that the game just gave me as a part of the side quest that we were doing. So at this point, basically, if you haven't done at least one of the 4 role quests, you can't continue this quest. So, because he won't allow you to. So that's why we did some of them. It's probably also why Cole's going to have to turn this quest in on Sage, even though he needs the experience on Black Mage to get to 80. You finished 3 Heaven's Ward relics, 1 Realm Reborn relic, and plan on finishing all 17 resistance weapons. There is no saving you. It's okay, you gave him 4 crystals too. Yeah, I know. You'd think we'd want to bury these or something in a place significant to Ardbert since he's still with us, but we're just going to use them to give Grenell inspiration instead. Well, that's because it is the turmoil of history made manifest. People used to have these crystals as their, you know, key items. But yeah, so now he's out of his depression because we gave him something to work with. So there you go. Did it let you turn that quest in on Black Mage?
Yes.
Okay. Did you get the 80 out of it?
No.
Damn.
Unfortunately.
Damn.
I'm probably still gonna need a quest. Probably still gonna need a dungeon to do that.
Or your Pixie quests. Or the,
Oh, right. Pixie quests. I could go do those right now.
Or the Ether Current quest, because we haven't done that yet either. Like the one that's up here in the Ondos area. Okay, I guess Grenald's gonna get to work on the lamp or on something else. Let's find out. Did Ardbert have fire or water? Can't fucking remember from the one Heaven's Ward cutscene. I think we had water, if I remember right. I think Ardbert's was fire. Because Nielbert's was lightning. Brendan's was ice, I think. Renda Ray's was wind. What's left? So Ardbert's was fire. Lamet's was earth, yeah. See, I think we had the water one. I don't know why we had the water one specifically. I think we had all 6, but those were source crystals. Okay, cool. Let's take a look. Yeah, that's a significantly larger lamp than I thought, but I suppose if it's going to have religious and cultural significance, that makes sense. I have a question for you, Grenell. How were you going to transport this to the Yondo if the air bubble wasn't outside? Were they just going to come pick it up or something? Like, I don't know how that would have worked. I feel like my brain's going to bleed from trying to figure it out, so I'm just going to move on.
Oh, piss. I never started my Fixie quests.
Oh.
Where's
no.
the right one?
Like, you didn't start the Beast Tribe quest at all?
Not at all.
In
Is
the
it- do I
in the
do a whole, like-
Crystarium. Go back to the Crystarium, and over by the pendants, there's a blue quest. And that one's the one you start
Oh well, I should be able to get to level 80 on Black Mage from my Pixie quests if I just do this.
Yeah.
Because I am 100,000 XP away.
Oh, then you can just do that from the Ether Current quest. Don't even bother unlocking the Pixies yet. Do that with... Save those for leveling Gunbreaker. Just come do the Ether Current quest with me, the first one, and you'll get to 80, so...
Fair enough. I'm gonna go unlock them though. For later. Later!
Yeah,
Give me
probably a
later.
good idea anyway.
I love how the Pixie quests just, you fucking find them in a corner.
You want me to drag this over there to him? What do I look like, a pack mule? Also,
I'm
again...
imagining that in the background, while Jimmy's whining, Rory has the thing over her shoulder, like above her head, because weight means nothing.
I mean, to her, yeah, that's true. She's like an ant. She can
And
just
it's
pick
just
up
fucking-
things 50 times her own size.
And she's just walking out.
So the primary reason why you had to finish the role quest for Grenalt is because if you talk to him, he'll provide you with journeys and gear for the classes that you've leveled all the way to level 80. I should have like quite a few things in here, but I'm only going to pick up the ones that are specific to the classes that I'm actually playing at the moment. And I might not even pick them up right now. I might just pick them up later because we won't need them until like
However,
we actually get down to the
the
bottom.
thing is,
So.
about this gear, is that it's actually better than your Skaven gear.
It is.
By a fair bit, and it will get your eye level up so that you aren't struggling as much. It'll give you more stats and some such. So
And
it's actually a
actually-
good idea to pick it up and replace all your Skaven gear with it.
Yes, it's a good
Even
idea
if
to
we're
pick
going
it
to be
up
replacing it.
specifically because of the fact that with the weapon, they only give you a weapon and an entire armor set, but with the weapon and the entire armor set, your eye level is like 415 or something, which is just barely enough to get you over the hump of, I think, I-410, if I remember right. You have to be at eye level 410 to get into the next dungeon at all. So.
I'm personally going to be using this gear because, well...
Well, yeah, I'm going to be using the gear too, but I'm going to pick it up later because I won't need it until tomorrow. So I want to make sure we get to the place we need to be for tomorrow by tomorrow. So by our powers combined, I summon my level 10 Heidelin in attack mode. There you go. Shadowbringer, you have the expansion. Game's over. It's just in my inventory now. I have the MacGuffin.
Listen, that sword, it's fire. I don't care what anyone says. I know you're all for function, but that shit looks like a Dark Souls boss weapon.
That's probably why I don't like it.
That's because you hate interesting weapons.
I just don't like weapons.
You'd be the
that
type of
don't
motherfucker to use the
conform
long
to-
sword for the entire game instead of getting something cool like a
Oh, hey,
scythe.
guess what I used for the entirety of my Dark Souls 3 playthrough?
Posing a question to chat, why is my brother boring?
Will they be able to tell you? Have they been here long enough to know?
Fair enough.
I have your 30-foot tall lamp in my pocket. Here you go. So what are you going to do with it? And yeah, so now us doing 2 or 3 favors for them has allowed them to basically say, "Oh, you're you have the will of the ancients on your side." Okay. I feel like this should never have come to pass. Or at the very least, if they're going to do this, it should be like they should be frustrated by it, because it's like, you people came here and disrupted our entire culture, but now you have the one thing we need to do this. So we'll begrudgingly work with you. Motherfucker used the longsword the entire first run. So, well, actually, was that my first run in Dark Souls 3? It was. I used that and the mace as my main weapons for the entire first run, so.
Listen, I understand. The longsword is a very
belong to one of
basic,
my
normal
friends.
weapon that does what it needs to do. However, can I introduce any of you to the giant fucking hammer that causes earthquakes build?
And actually, you know, the Great Scythe isn't too far into that game either, so we could have just used a scythe. I think I considered it, if I remember right. And I was like,
Listen, when I
don't
boot
know
up
if it-
Elden Ring, I don't boot up Elden
Imagine
Ring to
it's
kill gods with a longsword. I boot up Elden Ring to kill gods with magic and weapons of unknown ludicrous proportions that do dumb shit like shoot lightning.
And that's fine. It's because you played Monster Hunter first.
Damn right.
So you've kind of conditioned yourself to do that when you're killing giant monsters, you know. Oh yeah, those crystals, Arbert? Yeah, I totally just threw your friends into a blender to allow them to use that lamp.
To be fair,
Sorry?
you saved them from a fate worse than death.
I mean, again, we could have buried them someplace that was significant to Arbert, significant to
I try to give
them.
you a measure of privacy. No one wants a spirit looking over their shoulder every moment of the day.
But you're still there, though. Even if you're not looking over my shoulder, you still exist within this ethereal plane near me. So
Might have been
why
off
the
wandering
privacy?
elsewhere.
How did you come across that crystal?
Your friends are the cardinal virtues, dude. They've been hunting people as sin eaters for years, and so we had to kill them. Sorry.
That's right then.
I don't know how you didn't see that. Like, it's not even like they have the excuse of, oh, you can do all of the quests before you even meet Arbert in the story, because you can't. You haven't gone to the areas.
Fine, friends.
Like, you haven't gone to Raktika, you haven't gone to the western half of Amarane, you haven't gone to the top of Calusia. So at that point, Ardbert should have been able to see that it was his friends. And yeah, and isn't he attached to you at the hip? That was my assumption. Evidently not. He can walk wherever he wants, I guess. More interesting to kill gods with more normal stuff. Everyone kill gods with earth-destroying weapons with just a longsword. Now that's a challenge.
See, I already have enough challenge with fucking with all the Souls games and FromSoft games. I use earth-destroying weapons because I need to in order to beat the game.
See, and actually it reminds me of Sword of Mana, which was the very first game I played for the stream, where in that game they actually mention it too, is that, I think the quote was, as long as the legends, in the legends that were written, even a tree branch can become a holy sword if it kills something powerful enough. So, yeah.
I didn't expect death to teach me so much.
Well, it kind of helps that I'm here to help with the
About
lessons, too.
Seto, about you, about the hope that hides at the heart of this world.
Why didn't you try to contact Seto after you died? I feel like that would have been, like, first priority
I've never
for
been
you.
one for idle chit-chat, but if by some miracle I could see them all again, I doubt I would ever stop talking.
Yeah, that's fair. Because, like, it's not like the pixies would have bothered you. You're a spirit, so, like, they can't do any tricks to you.
I'm grateful I got to bend your ear at least. And just for that, I reckon
And
I'll
you
stick with
suck.
you. To the
No, I
very
don't.
end.
Cole has gotten good enough to beat Millennia, so,
By myself.
yes. Well, thanks, Ardbert.
Apologies,
That's
we were
awesome.
a little late to the gathering.
Took me 150 tries, but you know what? I beat her by myself.
That's good.
It
Good
seems we
work.
succeeded
The only
in
Souls
getting
boss I
rid
have
of
not beaten in all the games that I've played is Orphan of Kos, and Orphan of Kos is bullshit.
Mm.
The delay
I think if
wasn't
I remember
exactly
right,
welcome, but
I
at
didn't
least
get the
our many
chance to
hands
beat
made
him by
light
myself
more.
on screen, the Orphan, because I think, if I remember right, that was one of the few bosses where people in chat wanted to play with me, so I was like, yeah, that's cool. Like, who was I going to be to deny them playing with me? I think we both died a couple of times, though. So that was fun. Remember when Yulmore attacked and he tried in vain to defend that Crystarium soldier from a Sin Eater? Yeah, the Orphan of Kos is the Bloodborne super boss from the DLC, yeah. It's a fun fight. I like it. So, it's quite enjoyable.
Ludwig's probably still my favorite fight of that entire thing.
Probably true for me,
It's
too,
because I'm
yeah.
just a whore for his musical soundtrack.
Oh my god, his music's so good.
It's
Like-
so
like, it's-
fucking good!
It's such a ridiculous boss fight that I can't help but love it.
Unrelated, how many bits do I need to exchange to have you do a playthrough of Elden Ring?
You don't, because once I get a PS5, I'm gonna do a playthrough of Elden Ring.
Y'shtola was telling
You
us
have a
those
brand new
structures might date
laptop,
back
bro.
to the
Just
Age
buy
of
the game on
Innocence.
PC, then we can play together.
I don't think I could run it on this PC and stream at the same time, I'll be honest with you.
Shit, I'll stream it then. My rig's powerful enough to do that.
That's
An
true.
Ascian homeland.
Well, everybody
fun
comes
for you
from
and I.
somewhere,
Despite
say,
his
so
many
sure.
protestations, I never quite believed Emmett Selk was telling the truth.
Really? He hasn't given us any reason to mistrust his words, though. He quite literally forced us to say... And actually, you know what the funny thing is?
Before our eyes.
We can get into a little bit of etymology here. I'll do it here because they just said his name. Did you ever wonder why all of the Sin Eaters have the word forgiven in their name?
Mm-hmm.
Emmett Selk's name is a Hebrew name. Both of the words are from Hebrew. Emmett is the Hebrew word for truth. If you've ever heard of the Hebrew story of the golem, I forget who the priest was in the story, but in the story of the Hebrew golem, he writes the word Emmet, although it's E-M-E-T-H in that one, but the H is silent. He writes that on the golem's forehead to give him life, because the golem is their truth. He's the one that will uphold their faith for them, even when other people force it down from them. Coincidentally, in order to save the golem from destruction, he erases the E at the front and turns the word into met, which is the Hebrew word for death. So, but the point I'm making here is that the word Emmet is truth. So what do you think Selk translates to?
Forgiven.
Yes. Emmett's name translates from Hebrew to forgiven truth. So there you go.
A home they would see restored.
That's why all of the Sin Eaters have the word forgiven in it. Because, which is kind of weird though, now that I think about it, isn't it? Because Emmett didn't spawn the Sin Eaters. Logriff did. I thought it was brilliant for like a second, and then I was like, oh, wait, hang on.
I also just realized there's striking dummies in this fucking town.
It's a hollow dream.
Oh, in the
when
Ondo
you think
place?
about it.
Yeah.
Even if they
I didn't
manage
see
to
'em.
rejoin all the worlds, they'll never bring back the ones. who
Leave a
were
flag
lost.
where they are.
Okay. Yeah,
While I
that's
go off and get my level 80 gear for Black Mage.
That's the problem, Alice, is that we seem to know that, but they don't seem to understand that, probably because Zodiark has them tempered to believe differently.
Or they're just all completely out of their fucking minds.
Yeah, could be. You had me until you reminded me that Emmett Selk didn't make Sin Eaters. Yeah, I know. I was so ready to be like, oh my god, Shadowbringers did something good, and then I was like, damn. Oh, I'm just waxing introspective, Reen. I think I'm okay. I mean, my entire body looks like light ether, but other than that, I'm fine. How are you? My cranial
than me after
structure
a
has
long
received
winter.
severe damage. Bzzzt. How are you?
You have completed your devotions?
Ah, piss goblin.
Well,
Need to finish the fucking level 80 quest to get the goddamn gear.
oh,
Pain. Misery.
that's
Pain.
unfortunate.
You too have
It's a good thing I'm a slow reader. You'll probably catch up to me even so.
Might we
I mean, I'm already past this cutscene, and I'm currently going back to the Crystarium to do the Black Mage role quest. Because mercifully, this is one I've actually done, so I can afford to skip through cutscenes on this one.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm a filthy cutscene skipper.
Well, but you just watched me do it, though, at the beginning, so...
I mean, yeah, I have your stream open in a second monitor, so I'm literally just watching you do it.
So Emmett turned the lights back on
We
then?
ventured closer and discovered in the depths an entire city.
A city? Well, I guess that makes sense. There's buildings down here, so tracks that there would be a whole bunch of them clustered together.
Buildings we spied were akin to our own everlasting abodes. Impossibly so.
It kind of annoys me, only a little bit, but it kind of annoys me that sometimes they don't extend their S's here, even though they do it sometimes. Like,
Probably don't want to do it all the time, so it doesn't become an annoying vocal tick.
I guess.
Had risen.
Do it occasionally, make it a vocal tick, don't do it all the time, otherwise it gets annoying.
Like, basically, I would want them to do it when, like that, right there, where he does it for the cups there, because the word ends with an S. Like, if it's the end of a sentence and it ends with an S, then do it. Then it's not a vocal tick that gets annoying, because it only happens, like, once per dialogue bubble, you know, at the most.
Logriff may have made the Sin Eaters, but Emmett kinda took over the operation when Logriff got his ass whooped.
That's true.
with no water to drown.
So Logrif might have made the Sin Eaters, but Emmett's the type of pompous where he would totally take somebody else's creation like, oh, your name is terrible, let me come up with something better.
So what do you think Logrif named the Sin Eaters first?
We have been waiting.
Holy Avengers, probably.
We'd have to
Or
look up
something
what,
stupid.
We'd have to look up what Logrif, like which Akuria Logrif was based on, what his name translates to really get an idea, I think.
Considering what I know about Logrif, having done the Eden quest, he is definitely cringe.
So he'd make teenager names for them, is what you're telling me.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Without hesitation.
We shall, but actually all of you should go ahead of me because I need to go back and solve the cultural issue that we've created by causing an ecological disaster before we move along here. Because I didn't expect it to take us all the way over here.
You know, I just had a thought.
Hey, it's actually brought us back into the place that I need to go to anyway. What's your thought?
But I'm not going to say it because in saying that at least you're not whining about something else from the expansion anymore, you will remember exactly what I'm talking about, and then you'll whine about both of them.
Well, it depends on what you're talking about, because I feel like I've gotten most of my gripes out in the open, and that's kind of the thing with me, is that once my gripes are out in the open, I kind of don't really worry about them that much anymore. Like, they're out there, so what do I care, you know?
Oh, piss. I need to do this.
Oh, for the instance, yeah. Well, before we head into the depths, because I think after this it's going to take us directly into the trenches where the other stuff is, the other ether currents are, and then we'll all end up in the Rapture. Let's do Call of the Cups and help them solve one of the many problems we created by causing this air bubble to work.
Cole, I want to do the Big Boy Fate and Calusius. There's reason to go that isn't getting Luminettes. Am I in for a ride? Yes.
Oh no. Well, Neroshes, if you wanted to converse with one of our kind, you could have come up to the surface, although Yomar probably would have shot you in the face and turned you into a Sin Eater, but, you know. I noticed you didn't extend the S on my name there, but that's okay. Sure. I'll go see what you need. See, the thing is, I feel like I'm almost legally inclined to help the Ondo, because they're basically the Sahagin, and I did, in fact, do the Sahagin Beast Tribe quest, so it's like, I can't just leave these people here. Square Enix cucked them forever to never have their culture be served properly, so I gotta do something.
Doing this quest on Black Mage fucking sucks.
Why, because you gotta move a lot?
Oh yeah.
Time for triple
If you didn't know how to slide cast before, you better learn!
Time for triple cast! Okay, so that one down there is the main quest one, and that's gonna... I think there's like a lower path that you can take out of the cups. If we look at the camera here. Yeah, so if you go down where Strange Stew is, and then you go down this path here, it'll probably take you, or down this path next to Mistake or Machination, it'll probably take you down below, which will take us down to the Trinculo Shelf, into the Caliban Gorge, and then eventually down into the southwest corner, which is probably where this illuminated ancient city is, so. Yes, we need to create the birthing rope. And you could very reasonably, like I did the first time I came through here, just get the ether current in this first quest and totally leave these people to fucking die, but I'm gonna do the whole thing because this is actually genuinely urgent. As you'll see in a moment. Oh, you got wreckage down here. Okay. Well, that was nice of them. Let's see, what do you got there? The nearby debris, huh? Well, let's see what we've got in here. I know a little bit about ships because I happen to serve a military branch that works on ships, so... Okay, that's a ship wheel. And also, you could completely cuck these people by telling him stupid shit here. Like, for example, you wear a galley wheel that you use to steer a ship on your head. Why are you being so mean to these people? What is wrong with you, Shadowbringers? It's used to steer a ship. We can't steer as easily. It's kind of like, you see your fins on your back? This changes the rudders on a ship, which allows it to turn. Like, your fins allow you to turn aerodynamically, or water dynamically, hydrodynamically. You know what you love? When something is being teased and the entire fandom is going bonkers. So like Dragon's Dogma 2. Those are special moments. You want to spawn these fucking fates, just make it fucking stop, just spawn already. Yeah, I wish it could, but I don't know what to tell you there. Doing all the quests you skipped over because you're bored and your boyfriend rarely wants to play, you still haven't done the second Endwalker dungeon. Oh my god. That's not good. Yeah, so the wind and everything else would basically drag it down if we didn't steer it. Gotta have some way of fighting against it, the current. Oh, this'll be a fun one. They did. They were basically bottles of ambrosia. They stored intoxicating spirits that let people forget their woes, and also most of their faculties for a little while. Yes, actually, because a lot of them are depressed. And they turn to drink instead of therapy, because there's no good therapy people in this world. The world of Final Fantasy XIV, that is. So what are your needs, Nerocious? Or is Nerocious his family name and I've just been calling him by his family name this entire time? Yeah, drink bottles, hey! Example, a character from a show you watched was shown wearing a dress and the entire artwork you've seen since is them in the dress. Oh, okay, nice. So they basically said, oh, that's cool. Let's draw them as, you know, fan art of them in this teaser art. Yeah. That's cool. Uh-oh, the Clutch Mother. Yeah, so the Clutch Mother is their matriarch, and, well, fish have their clutch is their eggs. So, this is a problem. So what do you need from me, Chief? To help with the Clutch Mother. Oh no, I'm well aware of that. I told my friends it was an awful idea. They did it anyway! And yes, this is the problem, again, a large problem that we created by coming down here. The Clutch Mother of this group of Ondo is currently pregnant, and she can only give birth in water. Which is a problem because the water is kind of a few miles that way, and a few miles that way, and a few miles that way. So basically, we without helping them solve this problem, we just killed an entire race of Ondo. Well, not an entire race, but an entire town's worth of Ondo. Won't be the last time. I'm gonna have Vietnam flashbacks from this fucking expansion, I'm telling you. Yeah, an entire generation of these Ondo will be dead if we don't find a solution. So let's go back to the cups and find a solution. It'll take 3 more quests, but that's okay. I'm more than willing in this case because at least it'll help solve one of the big problems they have. Kind of. A little. What did you think? She would need ambrosia to get through her birthing? I don't think that would be good for the clutch, would it? Well, anyway. I'm gonna teleport 4 feet to the Ondo Cups, because I can. Oh. I was like, wait a minute, where is he? He's behind this corner. I couldn't see him. What? Oh, yeah. No, he wasn't behind me. He was
Nothing
behind the
personnel,
corner.
kid.
So, where's the Clutch Mother? Okay. Well, she's not the Sahagan matriarch, but... Why am I tilting my head like I've never seen a Sahagan civilization before? You'd think I'd understand what to do here. I mean, to be fair, I've never seen a Sahagan matriarch, but... Yeah, no, that's understandable. I mean, you're probably in a chamber with as much water as you guys can find in here, so I get it. Yeah, sorry about that. My friends were very adamant that this was the only way, even though they could have quite literally just stayed home and probably kept more people alive by doing so. Like, the Crystarium's probably being eaten by Sin Eaters as we speak.
Awful pessimistic.
Oh, and here's the line that I was talking about, where she's like, I've given to understand you and yours are the ones responsible for drawing back the waters of our realm. With good reason, I'm sure. Like, fuck off. No, this was not with good reason. They could have come up with other solutions. I wanted to walk around like I was on the moon, except I was on the bottom of the ocean in water, so I was just like jumping instead of walking. I don't even think they let you do that on the moon. You go to the moon in Endwalker. And you walk around like normal. What the fuck is the point of going to the moon then? I want to walk around like it's fucking Moonbase Alpha.
John Madden.
I want to download a mod that makes Stephen Hawking noises whenever I type in chat.
John Madden, John Madden.
Yes, that.
That video is chaos incarnate.
I consent, Clutch Mother. I will help you with your problem. I will try to create a solution, and then I will tell Bismarck to take the fucking air back when we leave. Even though he can't, because mechanically speaking, Square Enix can't do that. Because that would require them to change his own. And they don't do that because they didn't have the Ronkin Ruins change, so. I think you're searching for text-to-speech. Yeah. The text-to-speech of specifically Stephen Hawking's text-to-speech. I want that as a mod. Although, I can't download mods for this game because if you download mods for this game, you're in violation of the terms of service and they'll ban you. So.
A lot of... Did you hear about the bullshit with the new Ultimate? Somebody, the World First Clear, was using a fucking Skyview mod. So they could zoom out and see everything on the arena all at once from a safe angle to allow them to do mechanics.
Oh. So what did they do?
Banned the everlasting hell out of everyone using the changes, and then did not consider it world first.
Oh. Okay. Well, I mean, that kind of makes sense. They don't want you to do that because the developers that
also
made the
Yoshi
Ultimate,
P was actively disappointed in the player base because of it.
Was he? At this point,
he was like actually sad.
At this point, you'd think he'd be used to it. They do this every Ultimate. So.
Actually, surprising. This is pretty unprecedented. They've never actually done this before.
Like never banned and taken away the world first.
Yeah. This is the first time somebody's really used mods to heavily modify the game.
No, that's not true. All the people who were doing
for
the
a world first clear.
Okay, well, yeah, I guess for a world first clear. But I was gonna say, like, you know, all the people who are doing prog, like, you know how they have the little box in the bottom left-hand corner of their screen to block chat. You know their ACT is right underneath there. Their chat is just hidden, and their ACT is right underneath it.
To be fair, with ACT, it's been a little weird, their stance on it.
Yeah.
Because Yoshi P understands why it exists. He does not agree with the fact that it exists, but he understands its necessity.
Yeah.
Because it exists to make sure that people are hitting DPS checks, which are very difficult in fights.
Well, that was why they invented Stone Sky Sea, so that people wouldn't have to download a third-party program to do that, but nobody uses that because they're like, nah, it doesn't tell me as much info as I need, so they download something else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
so I
basic
guess
problem
when Cole says heavily, he means that, like, they never banned people from the game and took away their clears before this. Now they, like, basically threw the entire ban hammer at them and the rulebook. So. And I like Stone Sky Sea, honestly. Like, I think it's an interesting concept in a game that, you know, it's like, okay, sometimes you might not know if you'll clear a DPS check, so do this, and then you'll be able to tell. But nobody.
The issue with ACT is that they can't actually implement something as detailed as ACT because it could be used for flaming.
Yeah.
They have to keep it as simple as
they know how it went in World of Warcraft because they specifically looked at World of Warcraft's guilds and stuff who did the endgame raids, and they said, no, people have a program like that within the game, and it prevents people from being able to play the endgame stuff because nobody wants them in their group if they can't meet a DPS check. So.
Wow, it's almost like this game is more conscientious of its player base than WoW or something.
It's kind of a catch-22 because they don't want you to have those mods, but the mod is genuinely useful. So. Oh, so this lady that got you, rescued you from the brink of death was also pregnant. Okay. So you think that we can learn something from this lady who was pregnant to help the Clutch Mother give birth? Okay. I mean, that seems like a pretty fair, straightforward line, so... Oh, okay. So first we need to get a Maniri liver in order to have the nutrients available to her. Alright then. That also makes sense because I don't actually know how... I mean, I would imagine liver is really good for you at any time of your, you know, existence, let alone when you are with child. Just a matter of whether or not you have a taste for liver. So... Don't think that counts as a heavily modify. Yeah, Square Enix disagrees because pretty much any modification of the game for them is considered heavily modified. They have a very strict don't mod this fucking video game outlook on the games, so yeah.
And the reason for that was demonstrated pretty well with the whole fucking tomfoolery with the recent raid. Because yeah, having ACT seems all fine and good until you use it to actively flame people, and at the end of the day, despite everything that people might think, Final Fantasy XIV does value its community quite a lot.
Although that flaming still happens. Like, there are people who will genuinely exclude you from a group because you can't parse properly.
Yeah, those people are stupid.
They are. They're assholes, and they shouldn't be playing
Because the only
this
way
game.
you're ever going to be able to get better is to fucking actually, like, do shit.
Yep. So...
Okay.
Never used ACT even after finding out about it in Heaven's Ward. You were too lazy to use it. That's fair. I do have the Maniri liver, yes. Okay, sounds like a plan. Oh, okay, so we'll just give it to Zerosh's. Or should I use
My
his
take, if I
last
can't
name?
just have fun while
What?
playing, the content probably isn't worth it.
Yeah, I'm pretty much on board with that opinion, honestly. So
Yeah, in my opinion, Savage content extremes are fun if you have a good static.
yeah, if you have the right group for it. So, fun fact: Kingdom Hearts characters: Sora is Sky, Kairi is Ocean, Riku is Earth. That is true. I remember that. I looked that up at one point. Also, you find it funny that in Japanese, Sora is a guy's name, while if you name a person Sky, it's a girl's name. Yeah, and it's kind of just one of those things. It's just culturally dependent, right? So it's kind of interesting. Mr. Uwan, I have a liver for the Clutch Mother.
This will heal your broken leg.
It'll actually give her plenty of nutrients, which should help her children stay strong in the womb. So,
Ow, my spine.
tonight we dine on liver. You're welcome, Clutch Mother. Glad to be of assistance. Yeah, we're gonna need something else so that she can actually, like, lay the eggs. So let's go see if we can find something to help her lay the eggs.
It's like Ultimate content looks like it'd be fun to watch, but it wouldn't be fun to actually play it. For that one reason, there's only one Ultimate one I do, and it's T because it's cool looking. Listen. I mean, T's actually up there with probably one of my favorite Ultimates and probably the best one to start with. Because Coil of Bahamut's hard as fuck. Ultima Uwu is fucking actually probably the third one you go into.
I still can't
After
believe that everyone in the community calls it Uwu. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's Uwu.
It's just such a meme,
Ukub,
man.
Uwu, T,
The newest one is
DSW. Yep, and Top.
Top. Turn
And
around
Dragon
it's
Song
hot.
War is the hardest one in the game. No cap. Because it's 12 phases, and it is bullshit. Omegas is easier, which is hilarious.
You did good today, Cole. Although, and by Cole I mean this Cole. That's why I wasn't saying his last name, because it'd be too difficult to parse who I'm talking about. This is another reason, though, why we need to save the Clutch Mother, because female Ando are incredibly rare, and obviously they're the ones that lay the eggs. So, yeah, this is a problem. This is why we're solving the problem. So what else do you have in mind there, Neuroshas? Is that the... I don't think I hear it. I don't know if my... Yeah, I don't know if my ears are attuned to it. They must use, like... I don't know if that means they use sonar, or if it's just that they use, like, a different frequency cry to us. Okay. Look, you leave the tryhards and sweatlords alone and play the game normally. Yeah, I mean, I get that, yeah. It's just that at some point in time, like, I'm starting to feel it now. Like, I feel like I'm too good for the casual players, and that's not even, like, me trying to toot my own horn. It's just that I watch people die to mechanics on my first time through a thing, and I'm like, okay, but I saw that very easily, so... Am I just better than you? I don't know. That being said, I still die to mechanics on my first time playing through, or get hit by them. Let's look back at the Omega fight, the first Omega fight. I had never done that one before, although the community had told me about Larboard and Starboard, and I still got hit by the mechanics. As did,
Larboard handgun?
As did most of our party. Oh, okay, sounds like time is not on our side at this point, then. So, what should we do? Oh. Yeah, that's probably not a bad idea. Because if she has to give birth in air, the pregnant lady who gave birth in air might actually be able to help us.
Oh.
But in order to help them, we have to go back to where the dry return, which is a bit of a walk. It's okay, though. I can walk there. Just walk past.
Oh yeah, I
these
think I know what
swallows.
you're talking about, Lifeblood. That was Final Fantasy XI, that one raid boss that they made to be impossible. I remember listening
like,
to that.
They were like, how difficult can we make a fight? We already have a jellyfish in our video game that causes everyone's equipment to break for 15 seconds and forces them to run around naked. How much worse can we make it?
Okay, listen. That boss has a fucking story behind it. Because let me tell you about some of the bullshit with that specific boss in 11, Jimmy. Listen, I know you don't like 14, but holy fucking shit was 11 a mess. The devs were fucking okay, listen. Marie just said it in chat.
Openly
the players
hostile.
were bodying the boss because they were killing it in a way that wasn't meant to die. They were meant to figure out the mechanics like a puzzle. But
Yeah.
the actual mechanics of the boss fight were so difficult, so nonsensical that the players found a way to brute force it without actually doing it, which caused the entire dev team to be openly hostile towards the player base because they thought that they were all stupid.
Well,
And they were like, oh, we'll give you hints, and then they gave him hints, and the hints made no sense, and then they found another way to brute force the raid boss.
yeah, I feel like at that point you shouldn't get angry at people, though, because it's like, they figured out a way to do it. It might not be the way you wanted them to do it, but it's a way to do it.
Everything that happened in that specific instance is a perfect example of what I call shitty DM syndrome, where you have to prepare for your players to do something possibly a different way than what you think, other than what you want. Because otherwise you're just going to make them angry and be like, oh,
And
we
make
did it our
yourself
way.
angry. And make yourself
Listen,
angry
11
as a
was a
result.
fucking mess, and I'm so glad that 14's developers went the same way. The only thing they're openly hostile toward is mods.
We won't be playing
strategy.
11, by the way, because I feel like 11 is just going to be like an older, more archaic version of this 14 playthrough, so I don't think we'll be playing it at any point. I may eventually change my mind on it, but I kind of doubt we'll be playing it for more than like a month, if we do. Just be like, how far can I
Also-
get in a month?
Also, Marie said this in chat, and I can elaborate on it. The devs, the intended way to kill the monster was so lag dependent, like so latency dependent, because when they were testing the boss, they had direct connections to the servers, which, as you know, means that you are fucking, like, your connection is more ridiculous than anybody could even hope to do, even with a direct connection to the internet, right?
Right.
So they were like, oh, you have to do this, 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 and this. And then the player base extracted the idea that their strategy was so specific, so perfectly lag dependent, so amazingly latency dependent, that their strat was almost completely impossible for a group of the most experienced players with direct routed connections to the internet to pull off. You know what they responded with? Too bad, ban.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's not right. So that's where Metroidvanias shine, because they're open route. Yeah, so anybody can kind of approach them from multiple different angles, and oftentimes that means that people's stories of playing through the Metroidvanias will be different because they did something in a different order from everybody else, so...
They kept banning people who beat the fucking boss. Listen,
See, that's ridiculous.
I'm gonna go on this tirade now because I think it's amusing.
That's fine.
Y'all are maybe thinking to yourselves, Cole, you've been playing devil's advocate for this game this entire goddamn time, and despite all the problems and acknowledging that this game has problems, you still keep saying that this is the best MMO on the market right now. Why? Because 11 had multiple situations in which the developers were openly hostile towards the players and actively cucking them over through grind, literal meaningless nonsense, and other tomfoolery. World of Warcraft, you spend at least on minimum a year grinding for gear that you will need for the next expansion of World of Warcraft, which is just going to be the story elements repeating over and over again and characters going through arcs they've gone through 3 times already for the sake of marketing and for the sake of shock value to murder off these characters only to bring them back and put them through things that they will inevitably recover from and return to the status quo. ESO, I haven't played as much yet, but the mechanics of that look pretty damn good, but ESO in and of itself also